Hello, welcome to this session by rootfabric.com. In today's session, we are going to talk about operators in Python. So, an operator is any mathematical operator that has mathematical value. So it could be the addition sign, the multiplication sign. It could also be like equality. So if something is equal to something or something is not equal to something, or anything that could that helps with evaluating if things are true or false. So the basic ones, the basic operators are plus, minus, times, and not equals, division, represented by these four characters. So again, if you had 15 divided by 3, that would print 5, or 5.0. There's a lot of different types of operators that you can use in Python that you wouldn't think you could use. There's some that work on like bits, like zeros and ones, and if certain conditions evaluate, it can work with booleans. Those aren't too important for an introductory video. So, but one of the operators that is very important is the modulus operator. So the modulus operator is the percent sign. So what this does is if you divide a number using the modulus operator, it's going to return the remainder, which can be very helpful for like things that are in sequence. Or true or false as well are conditionals, because you can use the modulus operator as a true false by dividing by 2. So let's say you have x equals 10, not x equals, well, yeah, we can do x equals 10. He said if x modulo 10 equals, how did I want to do this? Equals, not 10, 2. If x modulo 2 is equal to 0, we want to print message 1. And then else print message 2. So 10 is an even number. So any even number using the modulo operator with 2, it will always give 0. And any odd number would always give 1. So this is one way you could do like a true false. So if I run this, you should see message 1. We get message 1. Because 10 divided by 2 is 5, there's no remainder or fractional part, so because of that we get 0. And then we see the first message. So just to make this a little bit more clear, print 11 modulo 2, and then print, do it in this order. So print 10 modulo 2, 11, 12, 13, and 14. So we run. See 0, 1, 0, 1, 0. Because 10 divided by 2 is 5 with no remainder, so that's 0. The remainder is 0. 11 divided by 2, it's 5 with a remainder of 1. So that's why we see the 1 over here. 12 divided by 2, that's 6 with a remainder of 0. So we see 0 over here. 13 divided by 2 is 6 with a remainder of 1. So we see 1 again. So modulus doesn't have to be used specifically with true or false, but it often can be if you're working with numbers. And it always represents the remainder of the remainder after you divide these two numbers. So you divide 10 by 2, and then whatever the remainder is, that's the value of this whole statement using the modulus operator. It's very, very useful in coding, the modulus operator. Like I said before, there's other operators besides just the basic math ones. So, whoops. So there's the most important operator, which is the assignment operator, which is the equals sign. So you have x equals 5 that sets x to the variable 5. So you print x. I'll make this 12 because I used 5 already. So 12. So the assignment operator, that's used for giving variables a certain value. And I know it works this way in C++, but I'm pretty sure with Python it reads the statement from right to left in this scenario. Meaning it looks at the 12 and then sees the equal, so it puts 12 in x. So there's other operators you can use that also use assignment. So we already had x is 12. Let's say we wanted to increment it by 3. You could do x plus equals 3. Print x. So this is equivalent to x equals x plus 3. So if you know how this statement reads, what it does is x is 12 up here, it adds 3 to it, and then it puts the new value back in x and overwrites the old value. So it turns a 12 into a 15. So if we print this statement, we should see 12 and then 15, which we do, because this increments x by 3. To get incremented by 7, and then we'll see 19. So 19. There's other ones you can use minus. So this is going to make x 5 because you decrease it by 7. So you see 5. And again, there's other assignment operators as well. There are the conditional operators. So again, print 5 equal to 7. 5 is not equal to 7, so this will give false. It's equality operator. Print is 5 not equal to 7. That'll give true because 5 is not equal to 7. There's also the is and the is not operators. So let's say say we had a equals 20 and then we had b equals 20. If we wanted to see if these two are equal, we would do a is a equal to b. But if we wanted to test if they're the same object, as in they're the exact same instance of a number, we would use the is keyword. So this is going to check if the two values are equal, and this is going to check if they're the same value. So if you run the code, true and true. Because these two, the way Python works is these two are going to refer to the same 20 in memory. So these 20s are actually the same number. It's not 20 in one location in memory and 20 in another, even though we use two different variables. And again, there's also the print is not. So it's false. So I know this works like with Java too. I'm pretty sure if you ran it's not. I don't think it's the is keyword, but if you ran this statement in C++ with the right syntax, it would evaluate to false, because C++ it would give each of these 20s a different location in memory. But in Python, I'm pretty sure it works like Java, where well, it does work like Java, where when you create a new variable and you give it the same number, it'll refer to the same it'll refer to the same 20. It's not going to create a second variable with that 20 in it. So yeah, this is only an introductory video, so I'm not going to get into memory location and stuff like that, especially when Python is a language that handles it a lot on its own. Python and Java handle memory on their own, which means where to store variables and things like that, whereas C++, it's your job as a programmer to handle it. So because Python handles a lot of it on its own, you don't really need to have a very deep understanding of how coding works. Python will take care of certain things for you to make it easier on the programmer. And then we also have the and, or not. keywords. So so if you wanted to print let's say you had if 5 is less than 9 and 20 is less than 30, you wanted to print true. Oops. So what this is going to do is if this statement is true and this statement is true, we're going to print true. So an and it'll evaluate two different expressions here and here, and if both of them are true, then the entire statement is true with and. So we should see true. So you run. So true. And then let's just say this is 40 instead. We should see false, or well, we don't see false. We don't see anything because we didn't run the print statement. Because this evaluated to true, but this evaluated to false. And with and, if at least one of the conditions is false, then the entire thing is false. So this whole thing evaluates the false, and we don't print the true. If we had or, we would see a true, because for or, only one of them needs to be true, and then the entire statement is true. So we see true again. So the only way this whole thing can evaluate to false is if both statements evaluate to false. So we run this one, and we don't see anything because both statements evaluate to false, so the whole thing is false. And just one last operator, which is just helpful in strings. So let's say we want to say if the string LLO is in hello, print true. And if we see the message true because LLO is found in hello. So you can use the in keyword to see if portions of a string or substrings are found in a larger string. So let's say we had LOL. We don't see anything because LOL is not found in the string hello. So yeah, it's a basic introduction to operators. Probably one of the most important operators that you should know that you might not have seen before is the modulus operator. It's very helpful in conditionals using with numbers. So I hope you found this all informative. If you want to know more about Python or operators, you can check out our courses at rootfabric.com. So thank you for watching. Thanks. Bye.